Good night, here everyone doing. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Just Spirit Divine and happy Merry Christmas to you all. Um, Dinah and I'm here to give you a word on tonight, and the topic gonna be Dinah and Shalmanas. So we left off at Jacob meet Esau. Jacob was afraid and wanted to give Esau a gift. It's been 20 years since they saw each other and now coming together. Today's lesson, Jacob's only daughter, Dinah, was defiant. Shemnai, that was the one who done an outrageous thing to Jacob's only daughter. So this package is going to be coming from Genesis chapter 34, 1 through 31. Now, Dinah is the daughter of Leah, had born to Jacob, and Dinah went out to visit the women of the land. Now, she didn't know all this was going to happen to her. She just went to visit the ladies in the land, and Shammai, the son of Hammer, the Hazarite, the ruler of the area. He the ruler of the area where she went at to go visit the women's in that land. And Shammai had seeked Dinah out and wanted her as his wife, but he went about it the wrong way. He went about it the wrong way, and when he saw her, he took her and defined her. So he really loved her, but he went about the wrong way of doing it. His heart was drained to Diana. His love the young woman and spoke tenderly to her. Talk about her good. So we don't understand why he did such a thing. Shammai spoke to his father, Hamon, to get me just to get him, that girl, that he defined. He defined her. He defined her, but then turn around and want her to be his wife. He was supposed to do all that first before he did what he did. Shammai don't realize he was supposed to get her to be his wife first before he did what he did. So now we see that he want his father to clean up his mess. So he did his dirt, but want his father to clean up the mess. So now Jacob, I heard, that his daughter Diana had been defined, by Shammah. So now Jacob heard, but Jacob's not gonna say too much. Jacob gonna be silent and pretty much is not gonna even take off for his daughter. So Jacob also heard that his son was in the field with his livestock, so he did nothing about it until they came home. So he's saying the brother was there on that land. The same land that their sister got defied in. But they claimed they didn't hear nothing until they came home. When they came home, their father was talking to Shammai's father about the situation that happened. So now we see that his sons were right there in the field and seem like they don't care about their sister, but now these the same brothers didn't care about Joseph either. Remember they didn't care about Joseph either. They hated Joseph because he had a gift from God and they throw him in the pit. So this their only sister, where they should be protecting her, but they did nothing. Jacob said they did nothing. Shammai, the son of Hammer, went out to talk with Jacob. So Shammai's father, after he got to talk to his father, want his father to clean up the mess. Now his father is out there talking to Jacob. And while Jacob is talking to Shammai's father, his sons had just came home. So while they're talking and they're hearing everything that went on. So when they heard, they was in shock. The brothers, they was in shock. They were furious because Shammai had done an outrageous thing and a thing that should not been done. So now Shammai father, trying to clean up Shammai a mess. Shammai said to Jacob, his sons have a heart. His son had a heart set on your daughter. he really loved your daughter. Now he trying to clean up, trying to talk so nicely of his son. Instead of him chastising his son, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, my son did this," he trying to plead with Jacob that give your daughter to my son. He trying to plead to give his son, his daughter, to his son as his wife, to intermarry with us. You know, so they're trying to do an intermarriage. Instead of him chastising his son. Instead of him chastising his son, saying, "Son, you did this wrong." Instead of him telling Jacob, "I'm sorry what my son did." He's not doing that. He's trying to clean up the mess that his son did, and not trying to acknowledge what his son did, but trying to justify, "Oh, you give my son your daughter because my son really loved your daughter." So now he's trying to manipulate and persuade Jacob, saying, "Give us your daughter and take our daughter." So now, just sounding like Lot. You remember Lot just throw his daughter, "I give you my daughter. To do whatever you want with my daughter." And that's the same thing Haman is trying to do. He's saying, "Give me your daughter for my son, and I give you my daughters." Trying to do a change, of daughters, for yourself. Now he telling Jacob, you could take my daughters for yourself. Jacob already got 2 wives already. So you can't settle among us. Now the Lord is opening up to you. Now he said, live in it, trade in it, and acquire property in it. Now he trying to manipulate Jacob. He telling Jacob, "I'll give you all this stuff. All this stuff. Just give me your daughter." So now we see still of Haman chastising, his son, saying it's wrong what he did, but instead he trying to clean up the mess and not acknowledge the damage that his son had done. Pleasing to Jacob, to give me your daughter, for his son. So on top of that, he trying to manipulate Jacob to give his daughters and take his daughter for himself. Jacob already got a responsibility of 2 wives already. So Shemaiah, who defied Dinah, spoke to Jacob in her brothers, let him find favor in your eyes. Now he want the brothers to find favor in their eyes. Cause he see the brothers in shock. And then they're buying the foolishness that Shemaiah father giving them. And I will give you whatever. Now he manipulate them. Now he said, I will give you whatever you want. Just give me a price, and a gift that I will bring you, is great as you like, and I pay whatever you ask for. Now he willing to pay, he willing to pay this the price for their sister. Only give me the young woman as my wife. I give you anything, whatever you want. Just give me a price, and only thing you have to do for me, just give me your sister. Now he doing all this for his sister when he was supposed to do all this here at first before he defied this woman. So now we see Shemaiah loved Dinah, but he was supposed to do all this first before he defied this girl. Now he is ready to give them whatever they want. But I want from you all, Dinah, a wife that he ready to pay anything, to get her, the woman that he defied, and taking to her father and brother, talking to her father and brother, like they want to listen to anything he have to say. The brother's not even a fool. Jacob was standing up there listening, but Jacob also was silenced because he didn't even defend his daughter. Then the brother said, "You defy my sister, and you are not circumcised." So now they're saying they're not circumcised. The brothers came up with a proposal. If you all may get circumcised, I will give you my sister. This is agreement to Haman and Shemaiah. He agreed because he was delighted in his daughter. So they're gonna agree on anything. Anything the brothers come up with, they will agree because he wants their sister just that bad. So now Haman and Shemaiah, they went to the gate of the city and spoke to all the male in the city. Remember, all the males supposed to be circumcised at 8 days old. That was agreement between Abraham and God. So they would live in the land and trade in it, and we would marry their daughters, and they would marry our daughters. So they agreed. They agreed to live and to live in their land. They agreed to live with us, as one people on a condition of their turn to be circumcised. So let us agree, to take these terms, and they will speak. They will settle among us. So then they went and talked to all the men in their city. All the men, for all them to accept this agreement. All y'all, we all gonna get circumcised. Do all this shit because I want their sister. I'm willing to do anything for their sister. So now Haman is talking to all the males at the city about this agreement. So now all the men who went out of the city gate, they agreed, with Haman and Shechem. And every male in the city was circumcised. They were circumcised. But 3 days later, they all were still in pain. You should see they ground. That's why God said when you're 8 days old, it's the best time to get circumcised. Once you wait till you get ground, you're gonna experience the pain and suffering. So they is still experience the pain and suffering 3 days later after they got circumcised. Two of the Dinah brothers, Simon and the other brother. It was two brothers, attacked the unexpected, killer, every male. So why they was in pain after they did the circumcised, the two brothers unexpected start killing all the males. They put Haman and Shechem to the sword and took down from Shechem's house and left. So they put the sword to Shechem and Herman and killed them all. And they carried off all their wealth, all the women, all the children, and taking everything in the house. So Jacob said to Simon, and there was Simon and Levi. Now Jacob had a lot of children, but these was the only two that took action. These the only two that stepped forward and killed all the male. So these are the two brothers who took out every male in Haman and Shechem that you have brought trouble. So Jacob said, you what you did, now you brought trouble. Put trouble on me and my whole household. Making the obnoxious to the Canaanites and Perizzites and the people living in the land. Now they say they brought in war. Because they took down all the people that knew that these people had defined their system. So Jacob saying to his son, may cause war, and he is fruit in numbers. So Jacob saying, you're the cause war, and B is fruit in numbers right now. Because down the line, Jacob, all them children Jacob got, they're going to be the Israelite. But right now, they're few in numbers. They're not the Israelite right now. They're few in numbers. So they decided they wanted to attack Jacob, they will be defeated. So the brothers replied that so the brothers replied. So Jacob talking to his two sons. These two sons from Lee. So the brother replied that he shouldn't have treated, our sister like a prostitute. So they're saying that's why they did it. Because he kept on agreeing and kept on trying to persuade them, I'll buy you anything. Excuse me. I'll give you anything. Just give me a price. Just treating her like she a product. So that's why the brother said they took them out for treating their sister like they're a pimp. So the point of this story, one, it is the will of God that all fathers love their daughters, and respect them. That we see that Jacob was silent and he did not defend his daughter at all. In the other man love their daughter. Most men love their daughters. But to hear that their daughter went through something like that, you would think Jacob be out there, be cutting up and all this. Jacob was silent. He did not defend his daughter in no kind of way, nothing. But the two sons stepped forward and took action. So too, the sons and daughters, to honor your parents. Now we see the two sons, went over Jacob's head, and took action and killed all them people. So what he's saying, you're supposed to honor your parents. They were supposed to talk to Jacob first. We frustrated, we angry. We about to take them out. They didn't do that. They took matter into their own hands without consulting with anyone. So Jacob was silent, and Darren also. Both of them were silent. Now the whole argument is about her. But she not once said anything. She seemed like she wasn't angry or nothing. You got the brothers is killing everyone, but you ain't saying anything. So her and Jacob was silent. So three, Shammai defined her first and then begging the brothers and Jacob for her to be his wife. You're supposed to do all this begging and all this for the woman first. And then you want to do what you want to do, but she had to be volunteer and be willing. Now you define her and then you're begging to have her as your wife. He's like doing it backwards. So Haman should have chastised his son. When he went out there to talk to Jacob, he should have had chastised his son. He should have had said, I'm sorry that my son did this. I'm going to try to talk to him and make sure it don't happen. He didn't do none of that. Instead of him chastising his son, he talking to Jacob about Jacob giving his daughter to him, to his son, for marriage. So we see he didn't do anything on her behalf. He didn't caught up on nothing. But the two sons stepped in and took action. So Dinah, first time the brothers speak of her defined as disgraceful. Remember, they came back, from being out in the field, and they said this was a disgraceful, thing in Israel. Meaning the crime affect the whole community, and that's what Jacob was trying to tell his sons. This situation affect the whole community, but then y'all on top of you kill all the male. That you trying to have war. So the crime affect the whole community. Apparently, no laws governing such a crime in some essence law. So the tragedy of what happened to them, but she was silenced, and she taken from Shem at home, where her brothers attacked, the city. So her brothers act of violence, to do nothing, nothing to help her. Now, what she's saying, her brother did violence, but they still didn't help her case because she's going to carry this for the rest of her life. When that happened to a woman, a woman a woman is traumatized and don't take that lightly. So she was silent. I guess she was speechless of what she wanted to say. So her brothers acting violent, to do nothing to help her, but instead put the entire community in danger. And see, that's what Jacob was telling him. By you took action without talking to Jacob, you put the whole community in danger. Now you about to have war. Because you took matters into your own hands. Instead of getting guidance from God. A lot of times, we all do that. Sometimes we'll think our decision is right, and we'll decide. I'm talking to myself too, and we'll decide to try to do things in our own, and that just causes more disaster. When you're in a disaster already, just like I told the travelers at the airport, you have to pray and consult God, then God will give you guidance. That's why a lot of times, when you think of something, you got to hurry up and block it out because you start reacting on what you thinking. So the brothers, they react on what they were thinking. They saw how, heard how he treated their sister. So that was a scheme for the brothers to say, okay, y'all all get circumcised. Let's make an agreement. And they know what they was gonna do. So 3 days later, they went all got circumcised, but 3 days later they're still in pain. And that was the day that the two brothers took all of them out while they already was in pain. So they couldn't even swing nothing. They was hurting so bad, and it took them all out, and including Shammai and his father. So the two brothers did not consult with Jacob. Did not consult with God. They just took matters into their own hands. And I'm here to say, we think our way gonna be better. But a lot of time we have to wait on God. We have to wait on God because His way is perfect than ours. The two brothers took things in their own hands. We saw that the father, took matters in his own hands to try to talk to Jacob instead of him chastising his two sons. Chastising his son for what they did. So we see that Jacob did not handle the matter very well. You know, if you have a daughter, you're supposed to love your daughter, treasure your daughter like she's silver and gold. A daughter has to be protected, from the wicked world. If people just sought your daughter out, instead of them trying to pursue them as a queen, as they should be, they want to just take things in their own hands, and disgrace, ruin a person's life or trying, back then, you had to be a virgin to get married. If you're not a virgin back then in the Bible, it was hard for you to find a husband, because so they're saying at the end, I do research, that she gonna be having hard time of trying to find a husband since she been defined. So that's why a lot of time, just like with Mary, a virgin, and she was about to be married, until that situation happened, and she, worked things out and did got married, but she was they saved themselves for marriage, but then she got defined, and the brothers took matters into their own hands, so it was like, oh, for all fathers, you have to love your daughter like she precious and gold. You got to protect your daughters. You have to protect your daughters. So like your life depend on it. Because because this is a wicked world. And you have to really, you can't hold their hand all the time, but you have to talk to them. To be aware of, have your eyes open and be aware of everything that be around you. She just went there to visit the ladies in the land, and all this here stuff happened to her. So just all the words I have for you on tonight. Y'all have a blessed night, and I see y'all on the next video.